Hi, I'm going to be talking about nutrition for elderly. My name is Valerie Alvarez. So, the concern regarding nutrition for elderly is that it's being compromised between medication versus healthy food. And when I talk about that, it's about elderly having to choose between both. And there's a lot more other factors that are contributing to their decisions as well to make a healthy choice regarding their food intake. So elderlies are increasingly ill, as I stated, and medication or health diagnoses are being given daily. People are having to choose, these elderly people are having to choose whether they should spend their money on medication or if they should buy healthy food, nonetheless afford housing and other factors. So insurance is not covering whether it's their medication, so therefore they have to pay money out of their pocket, which limits their amount of money that they have to be able to purchase food that are healthy. So elders EcoMap have minimal services within the radius, which is another factor of elderly eating healthy, is that they have to actually spend money on transportation um, to get from point A to point B. Services are not nearby. If they're diabetic, there's cost to that, to the actual supplies that are needed. So the cost of medication and healthy food are rising. Families are unable to support elders due to having to earn an income. So pretty much elders could have children, friends that are helping to assist them, but they can't assist them at all times. So that's also hindering the whole EcoMap system of assistance for patients on eating healthy. So when I describe the problem, nutrition appears to be an issue that many encounter, but as an older person who is alone, minimal financial support and health issues that struggles with nutrition are on the rise. When people are not able to afford healthy food, other issues arise such as diabetes, which can lead to amputation of limbs, strokes, and etc. So the challenges of choosing the topic, the challenge I foresee are a limited amount of resources, which I have seen through this process, that assist the elderly people that are on a set income and other issues occurring over their time within their lives, whether it be health or any other needs within their family. So the characteristics to the problem is there's minimal resources to assist elderly with healthy food intake. There's not many programs that are advertised, and a lot of times elderly people are not tech savvy to be able to search for them, yet alone feel timid to even ask about programs to assist. So elders are having to choose between housing, medication, food, transportation, just to get their daily needs um, done. As you can see on the picture to the right, you see strawberries are $3.92, wheat, which is in the middle, is 45 cents, and then you got processed jam, which is $2.99. People are going to go for the wheat, especially when they can probably make um, a longer way of, I guess, utilizing the wheat versus just buying strawberries that can go bad really fast or processed jelly. The healthy food prices are increasing, such as organic. Organic means that they're coming straight from the garden without being processed. So that's on the rise, and as you could tell, people that are in the middle class, they're struggling to actually get these supplies that are needed. So the prevalence of this problem is it's been happening for about 5+ years. Um, Class is based on those elders who are between the poverty line and the middle class. Age and gender does not discriminate. So in this situation, there are other people other than elderly people that are experiencing the situation with being able to eat healthy. They are usually buying items that are going to last them for weeks or yet a month under their limited budget. So the prevalence of the problem is that it's occurring on all levels, but to see elderly being deprived of healthy food when it could be assisted, I think that's something that is pretty much a big problem. So the impact of the problem is it's a revolving cycle. If a person is not able to pay for their food, their healthy food, then they're probably maybe paying for housing, for transportation, for medication, maybe something they got a certain diagnosis of diabetes, which is on the rise. All of a sudden, stroke that could happen. They could have just fallen, an elderly person fallen, and had to have additional medical needs. So it's a constant revolving cycle, having a limited amount of resources for healthy choices of food intake. So the use of money for healthy food, again, there's not enough. People can get EBT or whatnot, but it's still not enough to cover the healthy foods. So versus purchasing non-healthy food. So unresolved issues and gaps are there's limited acceptance of resources, accessibility of resources, and the corporation's ability to increase prices without government placing a cap on increase. So I think these are strong issues that have been battled for who knows how long. But I think if we can continue to kind of try to go into the government or a corporation to be able to say we need to put a cap on the increase of this of basic necessities in life, which in my opinion is food, roofing, and clothing. I think we can actually solve some of these issues. So when I identify practices and policies of implications related to this problem and or its effects, it really kind of focuses on partnership with vendors and government that would assist all parties. So if all parties, such as, like I said, vendors and government, if they profited from or work together in partnership, then it would basically profit everybody or assist everybody, all parties. They'd be making their money, people will be eating healthy, and they wouldn't have to overcharge. So people who are diagnosed with diabetes, doctors are able to provide vouchers towards fresh fruit, and it's actually called Fruit and Vegetable Prescription Program, which I found to be very interesting during my findings. And that's something working in a hospital I would love to do more research on. So the social justice implication is basically to encourage people to grow gardens within their community or households. Some people within the poverty or middle class economic status don't have yards to be able to do so. They usually live in apartments. But if the community can come together to grow that, to be able to assist them, I think that's just a step forward. Also adjusting environmental barriers to healthy food within a government level. So as I stated earlier, there's a lot of environmental barriers. People are trying to just survive off their basic needs and trying to get transportation, clothing, food, housing. So if you put all those factors into place, it can become a really difficult situation, especially for an elderly person who can barely get around. So the impact is very significant, and I think if we just keep on going to government level and asking to be able to put a cap on the pricing of our basic needs of life, and I say ours because it's not just elderly, it's pretty much the whole lower class, middle class people that are suffering to being able not to eat healthy food. And again, I go back to partnership within the community levels to lower the cost of healthy foods. It's interesting that the people that assist in growing healthy food or even picking healthy food are those that are actually struggling on a daily basis. So that's something that we really have to look into, that how is it that when it comes from picking in the fields or whatnot, it can be so costly once it gets to the actual stores. And I'm sure there's a whole process to that, which again, I would have to research myself. But I think we need a cap on these companies, these corporations that are creating these prices that are becoming outrageous for people to purchase their basic needs of life, in my opinion, and that's healthy food instead of just giving um, foods that are not good for the body. Um, it's basically a partnership, and I think if we partner up with everybody, I think it shall be significant enough to be able to see change. That's it. Thank you.